Disclaimer, before we start this podcast, I did take a week off of making an episode because of school. Also, this is a bonus podcast, so keep that in mind. Let's jump right in. Hey guys, welcome back to this week's podcast. I'm your host, Blueberry, and in today's topic, we're going to be talking about 8th grade being a crazy year, so let's jump right in. So I want to say that 8th grade was probably the worst year of my life because not only did we just came back from COVID and online Zoom, but we still had to wear masks in our school, which wasn't a problem. But there were so many other big problems that I'll be talking about later on in this episode. Also, 8th grade year was where a lot of stuff was happening, like relationships, fundraisers, clubs, etc. But that was more into the school year. At the start of this year, everything was normal. It only got chaotic around the end of October because that's when I made who I thought were my friends at the time. That's also how I came up with the reality of having friends as one of my podcast episodes. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure to check it out. Anyways, around that time, I'm not gonna lie, it was chaotic. Like, I can't even explain how many things went on, but I'm gonna try to cover it as much as possible in this episode. But it wasn't even like one thing at a time. Like, it was like multiple things at a time, and it's to a point where adults had to get involved in it. 8th grade for me was hell because of certain students in my grade that made it hell. Other than that, it was fine. So, around the middle of our school year, our freaking bathroom had schedules because of certain people who ruined it. There were also people who were stealing stuff from, not locked lockers. Like, people would, leave their lockers unlocked and hope that nobody stole them. But people would literally steal them. Or people would leave them unlocked because they forgot their combo, but anyways. In our middle school, the last floor was a male and female bathroom for the upper grades. The reason why we had that option was because we were on the last floor and it was pretty much a long way down to the rest of the bathrooms if we wanted to use it. But since there was a schedule to our bathroom, we also couldn't always use it. So we had to go down to the floor underneath us, which we had to ask a teacher for a key. And it had to sign out because just in case if the key gets lost, they can see who the last person was used. Like, who was the last person that used the key. It was just really annoying. I did not like it, personally. That's why I barely ever used my school bathroom because it was also disgusting. It didn't change since I'm in high school now. And technically the only clean bathroom in every school is the nurse because, it gotta be 100% germ-free. Now, the girls' bathroom in the last floor, which is the upper grades one, got painted black because people would write bad stuff on the wall, and that's how fight would literally start because of the ladies writing mean stuff about each other on the wall. It was crazy, 8th grade was just a big fog to me. Also, at the start of the school year, some kid brought red powder and poured it all over the all gender bathroom wall, and it was just really annoying, frustrating for the maintenance to clean up because it was, I don't know what texture it was, but it was just really difficult for them. And that was on the second floor, the all gender bathroom, counting the basement as the first floor. Anyways, that made the vice principal accused the 8th graders being troublemakers for doing that action, which made the vice principal do a locker check for the 8th graders, which I thought was stupid because who would be stupid enough to bring back the evidence to school, One of the teachers actually just yeeted out everybody's bag, just tossed them out. One of the students I remember talking to, she was like, oh my god, my locker's so messy because they don't really clean out your lockers, people don't organize their lockers. I didn't make mine all cute and stuff, but there's some people who just had messy lockers and oh my god, this was just awful. Moving on, this topic, I wanted to give it its own light, so let's just get started. So, relationships. Now, previous episode in my podcast, I did talk about relationships, but I'm talking about this one in my middle school now. So, relationships in my middle school. Now, I can't say much about this topic only because there were so many relationships that had happened that I just couldn't really keep track of. But it was crazy because there would be people redating the same person and then breaking up and then getting back together again. Just crazy. Now, I'm not going to criticize anybody or judge anybody for redating the same person again. Like, good for you. Like, I'm not going to say anything about that. And I'll tell you guys in a second, actually, why. When they were in the same room, aka I'm talking about the relationships, or when they were partnered up together, when they broke up, it would just get awkward real quick because, here's an example. So for example, if A was dating B and B broke up with A, but B told all their friends about A, it would just get hella awkward. The reason why is because if B had friends that was in the same class with A, it would just get awkward because B's friends would know about like all the stuff that was about A, So that's why it just get awkward. Now, this was like at the end of October and so on. So it didn't change, like it didn't like stop, like it kept going. So no relationships didn't end. It just kept on going to the end of the year. Anyways, the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic was because I may or may not have had a relationship in middle school. Now, nobody knew, not even my closest friends, cousins, online friends, etc. And not even the friends in high school that I trusted knew about this. So, yeah. I'm really good at keeping secrets, I guess. I don't know. But me and this person did, quote unquote, date for a period of time. People wouldn't find us outside in the public because we kept it over Instagram, text messages, and Discord. We both agreed on like good terms that we both would keep it a secret so nobody knew. And not till this day until I uploaded this podcast. So now you guys knew my secret. Boom. There we go. So I'm not really going to go into details of the relationships or the relationship, not ships, but the relationship that happened between me and this significant other, because I don't think they want to share it, and neither do I, because privacy reasons, of course. So just be respectful of that. That's why I'm not giving out names and stuff. I'm also gonna keep everyone's name private because I don't think they want their name to be out on the internet. Anyways, now moving on to some fun topics, which is clubs and fundraisers. Now, I don't got much to say about this topic only because it was very settled, aka chill. Now, if you think of this, you might be asking like, why am I even bringing up this topic? And that's only because I think that this podcast should still have a bit of fun, No, there was no drama that I can remember at the moment. But there were arguments, but those were small. So let me explain. My middle school had clubs, but this was towards the end of the year. And not gonna lie, my clubs did hit hard. Because, it was just really nostalgic and fun after you get tired of doing all your schoolwork and all that other stuff, school stuff. There was also after school sports and stuff like Foursquare, like the nostalgic game that I used to play back in middle school. But girl, I did not want to join anything that is sports. So I joined art club with my cousin. And let me just tell you, it was a shit show because it just got so chaotic with the 7th graders and the 2 8th graders. I did not regret joining it. Now, my second club was a yearbook club. And again, this was fun. But this time, it had 3 8th graders, including my cousin and a friend of mine's. But again, not much happened. Like, there was no drama. Now, moving on to the most chaotic last 2 topics. Field trips. So, field trips. So, in my whole year of being in middle school, aka 8th grade, aka my grade, we only got 1 trip. And this trip was near the end of May. Anyways, the reason why we only got one trip for the whole year was because there were students being troublemakers, which was hella annoying. And that was kind of the reason why we didn't get to go on trips, because we were not trusted to be outside in the public because my school may get embarrassed. But of course, I can't say who were those troublemakers, but they know who they are. The trip cost over like $100 or dollars, whatever you want to call it. Now, certain students couldn't go because one, they couldn't afford it, or they couldn't afford it. Two, some of those students were troublemakers, so they were either left in a lower grade class, so then they can't have fun and talk to their other friends in the upper grades, I don't know. Anyways, the bus ride was hell. Like, the bus we were in, it was comfy. It had like comfortable cushioned chairs, so you were able to kind of sleep well, but not really. But that bus ride was hell because it was 6 hour long of a ride. Like, you could not stand up. I mean, you could stand up to use the restroom, but that's it. So I was just sitting on the cushioned chair for like 6 hours straight, I think. It was just awful. I don't even know if it was 6 hours, probably more than that. I want to say 13 hours, but that would be way too long, so no. And we came back around like 6 o'clock p.m., I think. Again, not sure. But I know it was for sure sundown when we got back to my school. So, yeah. The lunches, I'm just speechless when I talk about this. But it was poop. Because the food there was so limited. We only had... the only good food that was there was the drink, which is the sweet tea. Everybody was just grabbing that because we were all hot and sweaty. And lunch wasn't until like later on. So you were just like lucky enough to just eat snacks. But it wasn't good, was not worth the money. We got like mac and cheese, the most basic shit ever. Anyways, I remember this, but one of the students took a jug of sweet tea home and chugged it down and threw up. So that was amazing. But anyways, luckily the people, aka the close friends, brought snacks. So did my cousin and I. So we weren't just suffering on no food. But the lunches were just awful, so we were relying on snacks, actually, which is so beautiful. And we did get full from eating snacks. Last topic is the end of the school year. Now, there were a lot of stuff that I didn't get to add in this podcast because I didn't want to make it long. But the end of the school year was crazy again. Not shocked. I don't remember much, but I did remember a lot of chaotic stuff happening. Like one of them being a student holding an art weapon and pushed it, because I can't say the S word, but pushed it into one of the students' skin. Anyways, that made the police come into our school, and it was just crazy. I think they came to our school. I don't remember. I think they were outside. I'm not sure. But that was also in the morning. Morning as in like first bell. So, yeah. Another one was that me and my cousins all got COVID. I can't say it because YouTube may flag it down, or I don't know, other podcasts may flag it down, so I can't say the word. And it was not fun at all for me. But anyways, I think this is where I'm gonna sign off. I want to thank you guys so much for listening to this week's podcast. I hope everyone drinks some water. I'll see you guys all next week on Wednesday's podcast for the next upcoming podcast. Make sure to follow all my social medias, which will be linked in Linktree in the description down below. And also, this podcast is not sponsored. So I'll see you guys all next time. Bye!